It is going to be Formula 1, the 5S and 10B into Formula 2, which is 10B into 8B. Are you guys excited? Let me know in the comments if anybody has played with our HydroGloss yet. They have become my favorite thing to use behind the chair. It is on my hair right now, the 1B. So if you have clients who are like me and think that their one end turns red after one wash, the 1B is perfect for. I will never use anything else on my head. And again, it leaves the hair super shiny and hydrated, which is the main focus of our HydroGloss. So due to the magical power of television, I'm going to go ahead and get our colors mixed up here. So I did not mix these colors up until I was ready to use them. And we are going to go ahead and apply. Now, when doing this look, you can do this on wet or dry hair, which is super cool. It makes life a lot easier because I don't know about you guys, but I don't always have time behind the chair to go ahead and dry out my client after I wash them in order to do an overlay or a color melt on top of them. So in the comments, let me know if you guys can see very well. If you want me to lower the screen or anything like that, just let me know. So the first color we are going to do, or the first section we are going to do, is going to be our complete halo section. So because this is more of a shadow look with that depth around the face versus our summertime look of the brightness around the face, I'm going to start in this halo section because our HydroGloss has a 20-minute processing time and it is a progressive color. So if anybody knows what a progressive color, go ahead and put that in the comments and I'm going to let you know as well. So a progressive color is a color that gets darker the longer that you leave it on. And it also will be lighter the earlier that you rinse it off, right? So again, using my formula with the 5S and 10B, I am going to apply. So I mix this up. And our HydroGloss is a super nice gel-like consistency. So you don't have to worry about it bleeding or dripping all over your clients and making a big, huge mess because we don't want to see that, right? When I'm applying color, I like to apply the root section first. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply my mids and ends. Again, this is Formula 1. You guys remember what Formula 1 is? It sounds like I'm a race car driver when I say Formula 1. I believe that is what race car drivers are called. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to utilize my mesh sheets as well. That way we don't get Deborah's neck all messy. Keeping her nice and clean and not stained up. And pulling this down. Do you guys see that kind of consistency there? It's super easy to work with. And apply all over her hair. And it's not going where I don't want it to go, right? That makes my life so much easier. I like to keep my hands clean when I am doing any type of hair coloring. So you beauty school gals, wipe your hands. Let us not transfer color where we don't want it, right? So I am undoing the second section and dropping that down. So when it comes to HydroGloss, it was based off of our Hydro Pearl oil. Has anybody used our Hydro Pearl oil before for styling? If you have, you will notice that it leaves the hair super soft and smooth, which is exactly what we wanted for this entire HydroGloss line. It's in the name, right? Hydration. So we want to keep that hair hydrated, shiny, healthy, looking its best. So again, I'm utilizing my mesh sheet just to keep that hair color off of my client's face. Deborah here, she gets really mad if you get color on her. And for our last section. So again, I like to apply that color at the root first. I'm going to pull it away. Again, she's picky about her hairline, right? And I'm going to go down through. So the nice thing about our HydroGloss when using it for toning purposes is because you can put it on wet hair, and we have those 24 shades, which allows you to create any type of color, look, outcome that you are wanting or your client is wanting. I love using a semi-permanent hair color for a nice shadow root. That way, when they come back to get their blonde brought back up, you're not fighting through permanent hair color in order to bring that lightness back up when they're in for their maintenance appointment. Another great thing with HydroGloss is when you are doing that shadow root on somebody who has gray, it will give you up to 50% gray blending. So you don't have to worry about seeing all of that gray coloring in between, because it is going to blend it out instead of having, again, to go back through and use a permanent hair color. Now, I was originally going to give you guys something golden, because in my lifetime, I would like to see our golden blondes come on back. I got a little bit on her face to come back, but I don't see these mushroom colors or these silvers go anywhere anytime soon. So by using my HydroGloss, I'm able to create that shade relatively easily. So now that we have that full halo completely colored, we're going to go through and start our color melt. Again, let me know if you guys can see that well. If not, I'll move her around.
You're getting tons of feedback. Everyone can see. Everyone loves HydroGloss. Keep good stuff.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear, you guys. So normally if I'm doing something like a look like this behind the chair, I would have gone through and highlighted my client. And then I would go through and take vertical sections, over directing it slightly to create that shadow first. So over direction and hair cutting creates that movement in there, and over directing and hair color also does the same thing, right? So she is going to be vertically sectioned, and we are going to apply the 5B or 5S, excuse me, and 10B onto her root area in a vertical section. And each of these sections, I'm not going to consistently do an inch or half an inch. I'm going to alternate. That way that gives me even more blend when we are all through, right? We don't want to see any lines in here. It's not an ombre from 2001, right? Again, our HydroGloss is super easy to work with. The consistency is so nice. I didn't show you guys, so I'm going to give you a little close-up like I'm a YouTuber. I am on YouTube right now, right? Look at that. So here is the consistency of the HydroGloss. You can see it doesn't make a mess. It doesn't drip, anything like that. So it allows me to have a lot of control when I am applying looks like this as well. So again, tapping that root, tap, tap, tap. And I'm doing both sides just to make sure I'm getting very good saturation. Nothing is worse than thinking you are all the way done and ending up with some hollow spots in that hair and having to go back through when you are ready to move on to your next client, right?
Amanda?
Yes.
What were your formulas again? And then how much of each one, please?
So for Formula 1, we did, I'll just say it like this so that it's easier. We did 1/3 5B to 2/3 of our 10B. And then for Formula 2, our lighter shade, we did, oh, get out of there. We did 1 part of our 8B to 2 parts of our 10B to create that nice mushroomy silver shade.
How thick of sections are you taking?
About 1/4 of an inch. I really want to make sure that I am getting that saturation all the way through the hair. So I don't want to take super huge sections because then I may have some hair hiding there that doesn't get our color on. And again, working vertically all the way around the head, you can already see that that halo is starting to process. Because sadly for me, even though Halloween is my favorite holiday, summer is ending. Even though it is very warm in Ohio today and humid, but because summer is ending, this is a nice way to transition your brighter blondes, your lighter blondes into something deeper without taking them too dark and giving yourself a lot of work come spring, right? So I went through and applied all the way around the head in zone, we'll say this 3 and 4. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through with Formula 2. And when I am applying this, I'm going to put my hand there and I'm going to go right up to where Formula 1 ended. And I'm doing that so I can create a nice blend. So we do this with our Vivids as well. Get 2 fingers and kind of melt them together, right? Because we want to see that nice blend. And again, over directing so that we don't get any harsh lines and working that through. And continuing. And as I'm going along, if I get to a section and I feel like I want that root smudge to go down a little bit farther, I'm going to go ahead and apply it a little lower.
So it's safe to say then here you're really eyeballing this to determine where your blending starts and stops for each section?
In a way, I like one in this section, I kept the shadow root about 1/2 inch away down the scalp, down that hair. And here I'm going to go about 1 inch and kind of alternate that. So not all of that shadow is ending in the same exact spot because we don't want to create a line.
Someone also asked, is Pravana cruelty free? And I believe you guys are cruelty free and even like PETA certified now, right? Like right on
Yes.
the website.
Yes. So we are cruelty free. We do have our PETA bunny ears. This is something that means a lot to me and Pravana as a whole. I don't know about you guys, but we don't use anything in our salon that has been tested on animals. So we are a cruelty-free salon, and that is one of the reasons why I also love Pravana and have stuck with Pravana for so long, is because 1, it does what I need it to do every single time, and 2, we care about the earth and the animals, right? Especially with the ocean getting so hot, we gotta care. And us hairstylists, we make a lot of waste. So I have been using strictly Pravana behind the chair for about 10 years now. And I honestly love the brand. If you guys are new here and have not tried Pravana out, I definitely recommend it. 10 out of 10. And a great way to do that right now is whatever distributor you use, you can go to them. But HydroGloss, if you buy 10 of the HydroGloss shades, you are going to get a free zero lift developer. And that is because HydroGloss is mixed 1-to-1. So 1 part of our HydroGloss shade to 1 part of our zero lift cream developer. You are not going to mix it with any other developer than zero. And you also are going to get the full HydroGloss swatch book with that as well. So all of the shades, you will get to see them, touch the swatches, and get an idea for what they look like. I know a lot of us stylists are very visual people, and it's hard for us to use something if we don't have at least an inkling of what it's going to turn out like, right? So again, HydroGloss, we are going to mix that 1-to-1 with our zero lift cream developer for up to 20 minutes on wet or dry hair. And it is going to give us up to 50% gray coverage, which is great when doing a look like this on your clients who have that little bit of gray in their hair that they just want to blend out without having to do a permanent hair color. So that is going to make your life easier in the long run when they come back in. And it is going to allow them to not have that line of demarcation when their hair is growing out. I am a full believer of allowing my clients to get hair that is going to look good a week from now, a month from now, 2 months from now, right? That is putting a value on what you are doing. I have clients who come in that I do this same technique on that I won't see for some weeks. And they'll come in and they'll be like, people are still asking me if I just got my hair done because it still looks good even after 8-12 weeks. That's a great way to make your clients feel like they're getting their value for their money, their bang for their buck, and then they're going to tell you all their friends about you, right?
Everyone or several people say it smells fantastic as well.
It does. It smells so good. It kind of smells like a clean man. Let me know if you agree with that, but I think it kind of smells like a clean man, which is also a great thing because who wants to work with something stinky all day? Not I. Definitely not.
We have someone real quick, I'm sorry. I thought this was a great question. Someone who's been working with another brand for a long time and is thinking about switching. How do you find the process of switching over from another big brand that's really well known to Pravana?
So we always get a little nervous when we're switching color lines. I totally 100% understand that. A great tool that Pravana has, if you go on Pravana.com and you create an account, it's completely free. A big truck just went by. I'm so sorry if you heard that. It's completely free to make an account. It'll just ask you your license number so that, we know not every Joe Schmo is going on there. So if you make an account on Pravana.com, you can go under color conversion chart. And especially if you're using a well-known brand, most likely your color line is on there and it'll have a complete conversion there. And I tell new stylists, new to Pravana stylists, to print that out and put it in your color cabinet. So if you have a client who is a 4N in another line, you can see exactly where that would correlate with Pravana. And it makes that transition a lot easier. It takes the guesswork out of it. Also, if you go ahead and shoot me a message on Instagram at amandak.hair at any time, I am more than happy to help you formulate as well. And we have our 1-800-Pravana as well that you can call and ask any questions you need. So we have so many tools to try to help you succeed behind the chair, because that's what at Pravana we really want to see is our stylist succeeding behind the chair.
Great stuff. Just so you know, we're 25 minutes in, okay?
Perfect. Thank you. So in the I don't have a prize with me, but in the comments, first person to let me know the mixing ratio of HydroGloss will get a virtual high five. Anybody? Anybody?
Okay, let's see. 1-to-1 says Chrislyn Ritter.
Yes, Chrislyn Winter. There you go.
Haiti
Not
says
awkward at all,
1-to-1.
right?
Haiti says 1-to-1. And if I'm mispronouncing your name, I mean no disrespect. I'm sorry.
So 1-to-1 mixing ratio with our zero lift cream developer for up to 20 minutes at the bowl. So I got all of Deborah's color on here. If you guys can see, here is, I lied to you. I did not get all of Deborah's color in here. Now, when you're a hairstylist behind the chair, you really sometimes can't talk that much or you're not going to pay attention to what you're doing, right? There we go. Now we have all of Deborah's color on here.
Why would something, forgive me, this is the last question so far. Why would you process something a shorter amount of time versus a longer amount of time? Are there certain levels that need more time?
No. So when it comes to HydroGloss, like I said, it is a progressive hair color. So the longer you leave that on, the darker it's going to be. But on the flip side of that, the shorter amount of time that you leave that on, the lighter of a deposit you are going to get with that as well. So not only can you customize it based on the level you're starting with or your tones of choice, you can customize it with your timing as well.
Awesome.
If you are wanting to get that full 50% gray coverage, though, I would leave it on that full 20 minutes. And again, so now Deborah is over here cooking. And again, we have that darker halo around her face with our 5S and our 10B into our shadow root with that same formula into our 8B and our 10B. So it does, I'm sorry if I switch up letters a little bit. Our Chroma Silk line is fully numbers and our HydroGloss line is fully letters. So we get a little tongue tied still. Our HydroGloss line is also a fully truly neutral line that is pre-blended tones for each level that they are. So our 10B over here, if I can grab it, 10B right here has that little b and 8B has a bigger B. And that is because you need less of the blue tone in a level 10 than you do in a level 8, right? So you don't have to worry about something grabbing too much because it is formulated for that level. Does that make sense? And again, if you do decide to kind of get that HydroGloss, you are going to get your swatch book with it. So you buy 10 of your HydroGloss shades and you're going to get that free zero lift cream developer and your free swatch book. So if you guys can see kind of all of the beautiful shades on here. And you also on the back get to see on that color wheel where exactly each of our tones land on. So it takes all the guesswork out of there.
We have another really good question, yeah?
Yes.
So what if you're doing a shadow and you want the shadow to sit the full 20 minutes, but you want to do an all over gloss for only 5 to 10 minutes? Would you say the best way would be to do the shadow, let it sit for the amount of time you want, and then apply the gloss all over?
So I would apply that shadow and let it sit for maybe 15 minutes, depending on how quick you are with it. I would let it sit for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Say it takes me 10 minutes to apply the rest of the color all over the head. So clock that for 10 minutes and then start applying my second color on there if I wanted to rinse that out sooner. So my shadow can sit the full time, but it's not sitting longer. Does that make sense?
Fantastic. Thank you.
You are welcome. So again, with Deborah here, she was processed for the full 20 minutes at room temperature on dry hair. None of this is going to go under a dryer, under a heat lamp, anything like that. And I first applied that halo and then went through and did our color melt. So she gets that nice veil of darkness in her hair for the fall time. And again, can you guys just look at how shiny HydroGloss is? Like, it is insane how shiny it is, especially on somebody who is as light as Deborah was, especially for a mannequin as light as Deborah was. Let me just add that in there. And for a silver mushroomy tone like this, because we do have to get our clients a little bit more on the light side for a tone like this. And it just gives off that shine, hydration. It doesn't scream like burnt crispy ends, right? So is this something you guys could see yourselves doing behind the chair? Give me like, does Zoom have emojis? Give me your favorite emoji. Not just a high five, like a thumbs up. I'm really into high fives today. Give me like the poop emoji.
We do have one more question.
Perfect.
Actually, it's a series of questions, so bear with me.
I'm here for it.
All right. How do you use the clear to dilute?
So the clear is going to give you a little bit of a lighter, brighter response. Think of clear dilute in our Vivids line. If you are wanting to dilute a shade, you are going to want to use a decent amount of clear and a little bit of that shade to kind of dilute that way. Another way that you can use clear too, that I can't believe I didn't mention and upsell to your clients is as a shine treatment, because say you're using a permanent hair color, they want permanent, there's a time and a place for permanent and semi-permanent, right? But you want to add a lot of shine to that client, you can go ahead and do a clear all over at the bowl to add all of this HydroGloss shine into their hair and upsell your clients a shine treatment too.
Do you see all the emojis coming through?
I don't, I'm sad.
Oh, why can't you see them? I'm so sad. Usually it pops up on your screen. You're getting some dancing emojis, a couple of high fives, some hearts, some heart eyes, some heart eyes, some smiley faces. So several people already use the HydroGloss and love it, say the shine's incredible.
I love to hear that. And I love to see everybody. Oh, I just saw some heart. I love to see us get creative even with our emojis, right? Because us hairstylists are super creative humans.
Yes.
So, and do you guys think it would utilize like the darker halo for fall? We're going to try to make these darker tones as easy as possible to get out in the spring, right? So again, we use our HydroGloss, which is the main focus of shine and hydration in the hair. A fully demi-permanent line mixed 1 part HydroGloss tone of your choice to 1 part our Zero Lift Cream Developer. We want to make sure we're using our scales for that one. And it is going to process up to 20 minutes on wet or dry hair. And we are going to also get up to 50% gray coverage with that as well. So we can use it for all over colors, refreshing, gray blending, and for looks like this, shadow roots and color melts. And that's all I got for you.
What a great class, Amanda. You packed a ton of knowledge that is very useful knowledge in the 35 minutes that you've been going. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, especially on a Monday. I know a lot of you guys are off for the day. And again, be sure to follow Sharkfin at Pravana.com and me at Amanda or at amandak.hair on Instagram, and tag me in any of your HydroGloss looks. I would love to see them. I love to see what everybody around the hairstylist community is doing and kind of build up that sense of camaraderie together.
Fantastic. And I'll say this too. Thank you everyone for who joined. As a special thank you for joining the class.